July 1856 saw something incredible occur in our universe. Something that would change life on Earth and affect every nation, every state, and eventually touch every human being. It would completely alter the course of history. It was the birth of Nikola Tesla, the world's most famous inventor, the man who literally electrified the world. For Tesla developed inventions with methods that no other inventor before or after him could repeat. Today, his life and work still remain a mystery. Nikola Tesla came into the world in the tip of a lightning bolt. Then, after hundreds of important inventions that altered the course of civilization, he faded away from the public eye, eventually passing away penniless, almost forgotten. Yet the aftershocks of his life achievements are still driving our modern world. What happened to his legacy, his ideas and place in history? Were his inventions and hundreds of patents lost or hidden away? Will we ever know? On Nikola Tesla's last day at Earth, he confides with us just how it all happened.
The scientist does not aim at an immediate result. He does not expect that his ideas will be readily taken up. His work is like that of the planter, for the future. His duty is to lay the foundation for those who are to come and point the way. He lives, labors, and hopes.
The basic issue between those who believe in mankind and those who do not. The ancient issue between those who put their faith in the people and those who put their faith in dictators and tyrants. There have always been those who did not believe in the people, who attempted to block their forward movement across history, to force them back to servility and suffering and silence. The people have now gathered their strength. They are moving forward in their might and power, and no force, no combination of forces, no trickery, deceit, or violence can stop them now. They see before them the hope of the world, a decent, secure, peaceful life for men everywhere.
Oh, Mr. Einstein, if you knew how you have inspired me, how many of your developments I have tried to use as...
Mr. Tesla, are you packed? Are you ready to leave us? I'm only doing my job, sir, and you've made it very hard to do.
Wait until dark. Please, go away!
And all your belongings and storage will stay. until you pay your bill.
Hello? Mr. Einstein? Hello? Hello? What do you want? Why are you here? These? Human eyes see in only 1 octave of visible light. But I have measured more than 60 octaves of light. These lenses enable me to see in other octaves. Beings like you have often been beside me through these lonely years. So many forces, unseen, undetected. They move silently over this world. Believe it or not, I was once a wealthy, famous Victorian gentleman. And perhaps the greatest inventor the world had ever known. Oh, mine is too long a tale to justify to you now. You have all the time in the world, you say? Well, I do not, as you also say. What I will now acknowledge to you, and you alone, the terrible secrets of my life. Dreadful mistakes for which I have no one to blame but myself. At university, I see Edison's clumsy direct current motor. I tell my professor, I will design engine that functions without brushes. Professor says, no, Tesla, you are mistaken. That will be perpetual motion. I say, yes, I will. The sun departs, its day of toil done. It passes to a new field of life, exploring. Ah, that some wing can lift me to the sun, up to its path to follow soaring. The engine bursts into my mind, like Niagara Falls, then springs forth complete before my eyes. There. Everything works. Quiet as a whisper, fast as lightning. Perfect. I see in my mind that alternating current engine at Niagara Falls, sending forth enough power to light all New York. In 1888, I gave my first public demonstration of my new system at Columbia University in New York City. By then, I had model engines to show the audience of scientists and engineers my missing link, the secret to my new system, the brushless motor. They were astounded.
Tonight, I will demonstrate to you a complete, original, alternating current electric system. My AC engines are so powerful, they can run anything. Lights, motors, anything in need of power. Before I begin, I would like to say, all that I have brought before you tonight is nothing compared to what I have just received today. I am now an American citizen. This, my citizen paper. Of this I am most proud. The great reach and power of my AC system will render obsolete the direct current system. Although it is a setback for some, AC will soon bring about many glorious changes to our world. Now behold, true progress!
The mind is sharper and keener in seclusion and uninterrupted solitude. There's no need of an enormous laboratory in which to think. Originality thrives in seclusion, free of outside influences that beat upon us and cripple the creative mind. The greatest ideas are born in solitude, alone. Many earthly miracles have had their genesis in the most humble surroundings. My first mistake. I wounded Thomas Alva Edison. His hatred of me grew and grew, for he knew I had stolen his fire. But even before he hated me, he tricked me. When I arrived penniless in America in 1884, Mr. Edison employed me as an assistant at his Pearl Street station. When I saw the moment was right, I offered him the plans for my alternating current engine. He refused, and with such fury. Then he deceived me. Mr. Edison, you said I would receive 10% of any savings if I increased conversion efficiency of your generators. I have done that. Check your accounts. Coal usage cut in half. Generator output doubled. You owe me $50,000. Mr. Edison, I have your word. He simply stared at me. So amused was he. When you have too much money, nothing else matters. When you have too little money, nothing else matters. Someday, when there are only rich and poor, nothing else will matter. Westinghouse paid me a fortune for my patents. He also contracted to pay me a generous royalty for every horsepower produced. Payments for my future royalties would be enormous if my system were fully implemented. Financially, I was now secure for life. I calculated I could become the richest man in the world. Or perhaps even in history. Free from servitude to Edison and his almighty dollar, I began to explore the laws of nature, to bring her greatest secrets to a waiting world, a world now eager for me to fulfill my oath, my promise to invent the machinery which would power a modern paradise. I had developed a photographic memory. I read books in minutes and remembered every word. My mental powers were extreme. I explored very high-frequency phenomena. Sunbeams were especially fascinating. Edison spent the years of our conflict publicly electrocuting animals. Helpless animals. Cats, dogs, horses, all in a gruesome attempt to demonstrate the dangers of alternating current electricity. Horrible. He lobbied government officials to set limits on alternating current voltage. He failed. He helped design an electric chair, which used alternating current to electrocute a condemned criminal, and then lobbied successfully to have this electric chair named the official instrument of death in the New York State prison system. The economic and technical benefits of the alternating current system were clear to every industrialist and banker. But Edison fought on. He refused to adopt the AC system. He lost old customers. He gained fewer new ones. His business began to falter. His relentless tenacity, which had been his greatest gift, now betrayed him. In 1895, when the power of Niagara Falls was harnessed by my AC system, the war of the currents was over. I had won. I know you guide me, help me see my visions. I must admit to you that sometimes I long to see you too. I do not need you for my comfort, but at times I wish to see your shape. Not to reveal you to others. I would never do that. Who would believe me? have been developing instruments to detect and measure very high frequencies. I have discovered an entire range of frequencies with oscillations of up to 150 million per second. I will soon attach a flywheel to the perpetual motions of nature. I will develop a new engine and a new energy system. One so technically superior to alternating current that it will soon replace it.
Replace?
We must progress. This is my promise, my oath. Progress to perfection.
As an inventor, you invented what was wanted. You did well by that. Yes?
Will you continue to develop the alternating current?
If I cannot renegotiate the royalties, it will be out of my hands. I will lose control.
Mr. Westinghouse, you believed in me when others believed nothing. You are the man I trust. The one man brave, strong, and smart enough to take my system into the world and succeed. Of this I am certain.
I am deeply touched by your trust.
This is my royalty agreement. I remember the day I signed it. It was the greatest day of my life. Today is an even greater one. AC is yours, free, clear. Before me lie an enormous range of possibilities waiting to become reality. Machines that will build a new world that no one has even dreamed of. I never saw George Westinghouse again, except at a distance. In late 1891 in New York, I once again shook the scientific world to its foundations when I revealed through my demonstration what is now called the quantum field.
I would like to begin by announcing that Westinghouse Electric has been selected to install my AC generating system at Niagara Falls. I have all the confidence that Mr. Westinghouse will complete this great engineering feat. The dream of my early life will soon be realized. Niagara Falls is only the beginning. The falls are just one of the energies in the natural world that await our approach and subjugation.
Of all the forms of nature's energy, electricity is perhaps the most fascinating. We know that electricity acts like an incompressible fluid, that there must be a constant quantity of it in nature, and that it can neither be created nor destroyed. Can man control this grand, most awe-inspiring of all processes in nature? Can he harness her inexhaustible energies to perform all their functions at his bidding? More still, cause them to operate simply by the force of his will? If he could do this, he would have powers almost unlimited and supernatural. For I shall make free what must be shared by all, not owned and controlled by the wealthy industrialist. This new engine will be my greatest gift to humanity. The perfect system, powerful, safe, free. This will be true progress. In 1893, I needed a break to restore myself from ceaseless work. I accepted Westinghouse's invitation to go to Chicago. I would oversee the installation of my lighting system at the Chicago World's Fair. It was there I met a holy man, Swami Vivekananda, from India, a Vedic mystic. I had never been in the presence of a truly holy person. Vibrations emanated from his body. The effect of his presence on me was profound. In the early 1890s, I had been experimenting with the instruments of my own invention to detect, amplify, and transmit these mysterious, subtle vibrations. I even began to bathe my head in them. I found it soothing. They are now called X-rays. One night in my laboratory, hoping I could regain that holy feeling of peace that I felt with Swami Vivekananda, I fell asleep under the X-ray machine. When I awoke, the machine was still bathing my head in its current, but I had no idea who I was. I had no memory of my life. My work that night changed forever. Along with my memories, I had lost my visionary powers of invention. I could not cross a street to the other side without recrossing it 3 times. I could not enter a building without first circling the block 3 times. I developed a deep fascination, indeed, a desperate obsession for pigeons. Lovely, sweet pigeons. I never saw a doctor for this illness or anything else. I feared doctors like the plague. I let no one know of my accident with the X-ray machine. My work came to a standstill. I lay on my couch trying to reconstruct my memory, regain my powers of concentration and invention. At times when I rest, I know you are near. It is easier for me to dream of you rather than have you as my mortal witness. But I do not want you to suffer like I do. I sometimes feel when you are here. That for me is enough. Do not try to take on my struggles. That is what we do here on Earth. I had a huge laboratory in New York, many stories high and as large as a city block. All the money which Westinghouse had paid me I had invested in my lab instruments and model inventions. Soon after my return from Chicago, my laboratory was burned to the ground by a tremendous fire. Only ashes remained. Neither my lab nor its contents were insured against fire. I lost everything. Financially, I was destroyed. And many model inventions gathering dust, which I could have sold to start entire new industries, were destroyed. And worse, forgotten. No one knows what was lost in that fire. The fire was no accident. In fear for the first time in my entire life, I fled. I fled to Colorado. Feeling safer, I continued with my work. I discovered how to charge the earth itself with electricity. I would place light bulbs in the ground and they would illuminate. I theorized I could fill the entire earth with electricity. When my experiments reached a standstill, I returned to New York. I convinced J.P. Morgan that I could build a broadcasting station on Long Island to send wireless radio transmissions around the world. I built the gigantic Wardenclyffe Tower. It would be the prototype wireless transmitting station to cover the entire world in radio waves. Then suddenly, the fund stopped. J.P. Morgan suspected I had another motive than the one I had declared. a motive that would threaten his monopoly on electricity. He was right. I was so near the goal I had set in Colorado. So near. I planned to fill the earth with electricity. Yes. Make the entire earth a capacitor for free alternating current. Then everyone could simply draw it freely from the earth beneath them. After falling out with Morgan, no doors would open to me. My phone calls to bankers were neither taken nor returned. None of my letters to potential investors were answered. I held over 600 patents. I could sell none of them. None. I was shunned, banished. A secret plan was afoot to ruin me, my reputation, and the value of my inventions. To bury my name and my greatest discoveries in oblivion. I had been the most celebrated inventor in history in 1895. I would give interviews to reporters, but my words always seemed to betray me. I read the interviews I had given. I was appalled. The newspapers said I could destroy the Brooklyn Bridge with a device I held in my hand, that I could split the earth in two like an apple. It was as if there was a being residing within me I could not relate to nor restrain, and whose aim was my ruin. I found peace of mind only in the solitude and silence of my room. But the moment I left the safe haven of my hotel room, I grew unbalanced, walking among my fellow men. This illness was a nightmare from which I could not awaken. It made me so alone. As the years passed, I became a forgotten man, almost unheard of, moving from hotel to hotel when I could not pay my way. All my possessions gradually stripped from me, as they were withheld until I should return to pay my bills. I rarely ever returned. I was not interested in people, possessions, or inventing. I wanted only to awaken from the nightmare of my illness. My brain is only a receiver. In the universe, there is a core from which we obtain knowledge, strength, and inspiration. I have not penetrated into the secrets of this core, but I know that it exists. Can anyone truly say what ignites the spark of creativity? Yes, there were other inventors in my family, but that is not why I was gifted with visions. If we are guided by a muse, how do we know what to trust? What is the nature of instinct that calls for us to turn right or left? Will what we bring into the physical plane ultimately be good for the human race? No one ever actually questioned my ability to invent, or even why my discoveries met with such success. They were too focused on the marketing and profit of my inventions. This box contains my quantum engine. It can provide infinite energy forever. 100 years ago, there was steam power. Then petroleum, electricity, nuclear power. And soon, this. When I was with the Swami, I felt true peace. He filled the space with a serene presence. He was the capacitor. The Swami had attuned himself to the Earth's own magnetic fields. My engine connects to this same field. The world we experience through our five senses is, in essence, energy. What my engine freely gives us is a connection to a serene sea of infinite energy. I searched so long for one honest man, strong, smart, and brave enough to take my quantum engine into the world. For I have learned of late that even the best invention will become poison in the wrong hands. Just as the clear reception of a radio broadcast can be disrupted by a passing lightning storm, the use of electricity has created a disruptive pattern. Its effects cover every part of the world. This electronic interference prevents man from receiving what comes from nature. This modern storm will not pass. It is always on. It is everywhere and growing. Look around you. What is not powered by electricity? Step into the light of things. Let nature be your teacher. One impulse from a vernal wood can teach you more of man, of moral evil, and of good than all the sages can. What have I done?
Mr. Tesla, it's time to go.
I will also say that I do not envy what humanity has inherited. The future is full of uncertainty. I will not be there to assist.